friendos. How's everybody doing this evening? Have the Sunday scaries kicked in yet? Let us know. Also, let us know what you're working on. All of the fun things. I don't know why I'm so weirdly lighted today. Even this morning on Zara's stream, it was like a hot mess. No, Raj, stay. No. Stay. Thank you. Anywho, yes, lighted very weirdly today. I don't know what the reason is because the lights, like normally, like if that light's on, oh, sure, but it's not on. So anywho, all of the normal lights, but with weirded lighting issues. We have friends. We have a Mars. We have a Tennille. We have a Celine. Welcome in. Finishing up dinner. I also just did that myself. I also need to get some work done. Indeed. The weekend has not been long enough to make up for the chaos of the last 3 weeks. Also fair. Another day twos of resting. Me as well, apparently. Spent the entire afternoon in the city with friends. I'm very tired. But that was fun tired though, right? We like a fun tired. This morning, as I said, I did sprints on Zara's channel with Zara, Amara, and Crystal. And I did get some things done this morning. I've been watching a few different videos about plotting because I have, I have this. See this? There's plots. Plots are happening, but they're not happening very well. I have a lot to fill in. And so I need to figure out the rest of the plot of the story. I have some main parts. But now I've reached the point of the main part of the story is accomplished. The main plot should be done. Now I need a side plot, and I need to get in all of the plots that explain the world building. You know what I mean? To prevent yourself from just info dumping for the first quarter of the book of how the world works, you have to actually have some plot behind it. And at this current moment in time, I don't have any plot reasons to have the world building info. And so I need to build that in. Also, where those post-it notes are not accurate because I was trying to finagle them earlier and I'm still finagling. That's what I was working on this morning. Watching some plotting videos. I've never plotted a book before, but I feel like I haven't because it's been so long. Yeah, watching some plotting videos, working on the big board because I need to hold the things. Sometimes I do note cards. I have a lifetime supply of note cards where I've done those in the past. If you could see the dirt on these, it's been so long since I've put them out. This is my original note card set for the Yonku's Curse. So first off, these characters don't even have these same names. But note cards. They help me figure out where things are at. I like to be able to pick things up and move them around and do the things. So I'm whiteboarding it today. Also tonight I need to fold laundry because it's Sunday and it's laundry day. And I haven't done that yet. And that's probably it for me tonight. I'm happy with the progress I've been making on the book this week. I definitely am not. No, you cannot. Because you'll walk all over my keyboard and I'm not having it. Stay. She just looks like I'm being mean to her. You don't need to see your friends right now. You can come down later. Anywho, I'm not where I thought I would be at this point in the month, but I am making progress, and that's kind of the key point, I guess, is what I was trying to say before I was so rudely interrupted by a Raja trying to be bad. Anywho, let's see what the rest of our friends are doing. Tried to eat dinner, but I think the heat is just messing with me. I felt very sick while. Yes. It's not that bad inside. Actually, I don't know that it's bad outside here because it's had torrential downpours twice today. It's 84. 81. It's 81, feels like 86. So that's not too bad for here. For our friends who are in Celsius, that's probably what, somewhere around 32 or 33. Fahrenheit is 81. 27. I was way off. Way off. Well, if the feel is 86, it's 30. So, ish. Anyway. 36 today, which is 96. Yeah, that's hot. That's warm. We had some 108 days last week, which would be 42 for you guys. So it's been hot, but it's not that bad right now. And I also live in a house with central air. I'm very lucky. Where I live is very rural, and that's not necessarily a common thing, because it's a very poor area. So a lot of people in our area are not that lucky, and they use like window fans and sometimes a window AC unit, things like that. And they can help, but they don't solve all of the problems. So, hello, Bex. How are you today? Like, I haven't seen you already. Because I did also pop in for sprints with Stieg and Bex, and I took a nap during those sprints, but I was there for a little bit. And then I also popped in with sprints with Leandra for a little while, and then I left to go have dinner. I've been all over sprints today, doing all kinds of things. I've been a very busy girl. Hoping to read another hour's worth of Murder in Old Bombay, and then the rest is history. Excellent. Got bevies and hit up some thrift stores and small businesses. Love that. In total, got 5 books, a puzzle, a pen, a sweater, and a t-shirt, and only spent $20. That is fantastic. Proof listening to my audiobook for these sprints and playing Xbox while I do. Listen, whatever it takes. I mean, I'm sure that proof listening to the audiobook is way more fun. Also, hi, Lainey. But I remember, like, back in ye olden days, as a girl with dyslexia, when I was writing the first, my first novel that I completed, I don't know, 20 years ago. It was a newfangled contraption that you could make a Word doc read to you your words. And so we would I would listen to it to like catch myself. It was the only way I could catch like self-edit. As someone with dyslexia, sometimes the words are wrong, but I don't catch that they're wrong because my brain is just like, obviously my brain is the one that put it there and thinks it's right. So I would have the computer read to me, and it was a time. I had a character named Falcon, and I mean his name still is Falcon. It hasn't changed over 20 years. Um, it may one day, who knows? But it always said Vulcan. And I'm like, Falcon is a way more normal word than Vulcan, but sure. Sure. You do you, boo. It's a fun time 20 years ago, back in the highlight of technology. Calling it on writing day today. My sprints are going to be for washing dishes and finally starting Blood Marked by Tracy Young. Which book is that? Is that the first, second, third? Blood Marked is the second. Okay. Let me know how you feel about it once you get into it. I am going to reread. I think we've already talked about this. I'm going to read a synopsis of the second book because I kind of forget what happened, but I do own the third book. I need to get to it at some point, but all of the things. So I probably should do more. I mean, you do have Comic-Con coming up, and you do need to have the things done for that. So I'm just saying. Had a high of 84 today, but I was out and about and also didn't even clock out of work until midnight last night. So it didn't set me up very nice for the day. Yeah, definitely 84 is toasty. And you're also in a city area, and it's always warmer in a city than it is in even when, because stagnant air. You know what I mean? Like when it's 84 and there's no breeze, it's hot. Whereas up here, I've got breeze galore typically because it's just open flat land on top of a mountain. So it's a little more airy up here. Doesn't mean it's not hot, but it's a little more airy. Yeah, super humid. Too much living here as central air because we didn't used to have heat like last second. Yeah, and it's not ever been that hot here either. Summers, sometimes you would have like a 100-degree day, but it just wasn't that common. It really wasn't. Our summers were more like 80s, 90s, um, and it just wasn't that hot, but all of our homes are it's just the way they build things now. They build it with an HVAC unit, which is heating and cooling. Um, it I when we built our house, which it's been next year will be 20 years when we built this house. It's a metal frame building, and it has a polystyrene insulation. So it is basically just like 5 inches of foam insulation all the way around the house. It is super well insulated. And if we open the windows for the most part, if you open the windows at night when the air is cool and then close them in the morning before it gets hot during the day, it'll stay cool in the house. Um, it does a really good job of insulating to keep the outside weather out and the inside temperature in. But like I said, I know a lot of people are not, like Nana lives next door in a trailer from the 1970s. Like she doesn't have central air and her house is not as well insulated. So a lot of days when it was like when we were going through the big heat wave, I think I mentioned it a few weeks ago, where my house was like infiltrated with people all day, because no one else on the farm has good insulation or central heating like we do, or central air conditioning like we do. So like everybody was here because it was the cool house. It was the house that was cool. So everybody just, hops in and you move on with life. Kind of the same, like because we are rural, when power goes out in the wintertime, especially for like snow and ice and things like that, we're not high on the priority list of getting power back. And we are the ones with a wood stove and with a gas cooker. So everybody comes here and stays until the power comes back on because we actually have heat and are able to cook. So all of the things. I'm a very lucky person. Very much in the mood for continuing series lately, so I'm gonna write it while I can. Absolutely. It is definitely difficult to make yourself finish series. I will be this month finally finishing the Witchland series. I started Witchlight Friday. I'm on page 44. So I will be finishing a book as well. Or finishing a series. Well, I mean, to finish the series, I have to finish the book, but you know what I mean. I will be finishing a book in the series this month. It's fine. Well, down as I said earlier, it was worse when is winter? Unfortunately, we haven't hit the peak of summer yet. In fact, we're not even a month into summer. So sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Hi, Lisa. Haven't done anything for little days except to read and sit around to help. Well, we are here to help. You're here to do things, I hope. Start a series, but can't finish them. I have so many series that I want to finish, and like maybe one day, but today is not the day. I have so many books I need to read, like that I need to put on my um upcoming TBR, and I just keep not doing it. Like I have these books that I want to read by the end of the year, and they're not ever on my TBR. I'm like, girl, you're not gonna read them if they're not on there. Hello. Two of the books I picked up today were actually books 2 and 3 of a trilogy and book 1 of, so maybe I'll do a little binge later in the month. Who knows? I love that idea. I need to also, not a binge, but a read. I need to reread um Semi-Definitive List because I haven't done my reread this year yet. I think what I really want to do is a reread of what the heck is that book called? Like you haven't read it 6 times already. Our Chemical Hearts. Um, I'm really feeling an Our Chemical Hearts reread. Like I want to cry and be devastated. And I've only read that book like 4 times and it still like makes me cry and devastates me. Uh yeah. But also when I reread that, I tend to reread Worst Nightmares, which I've read 10 times. So it's I'm fine. I'm fine. What I should do is find Catherine, not Katie Ann, but the other Catherine, Kate, and talk to her about doing another rereadathon 24-hour readathon thing. Do that. I should find her on the internet. Executive dysfunction, it does do that. Read some and finish dinner, and then I have a crap ton of journaling and Bujo set up to do that I've put off for months. Literally. Well, then you should do that. And then you'll be on your way to have the things. I do need to work on throwing things. I need to work on today's planner also, and then fill in what I need to do for this week. Though I don't know what I'm doing this week because Katie Ann, the other Katie, the other Catherine, will be close at hand this week. I don't know. I don't know if she needs me to be her friend or if she's like got plan. I don't know what she's doing because we're gonna be in the same city tomorrow and we don't communicate with each other. That's how we roll. It's fine. It's all fine. Landing on a strategy is mostly working for me, although the mood reader instinct can be very destructive. Absolutely. Priority shelf that's double stacked with priority books for the year, and then I make stacks for the next 2 months on different shelves, so the books are right in my face. I have been using, I made just like a quick template in Google Sheets of a like TBR options, and I made it originally to like help me pick books for different readathons. And I was actually like at the beginning of the year actually putting in multiple options for the books, but it's mostly just been one option for the book. But for like, because I do like buzzword reading challenge, like the cover version and not my group book for my local indie, TBR-thon doing the yearly version, doing coffin covers, which is from Jan Agaton. Like there's so many things that like I try to hit prompts for every month that I just decided to make like a template for that. And then whatever readathon I'm doing, I try to put the prompts in and then like hit all of the prompts with as few books as possible so that I can then mood read the rest of the month. And that is helping. Some months I do better than others. Last month, I actually I read everything for the month and then also read this month's maybe books. And so now I have no maybe books for this month and I'm like scrambling to find things to fit in, which I have been doing. I picked up hello, where are you? I picked up Laura's book this week when I was doing Summer Ween readathon because I was out of books to read. So I was like, I'll pick up this one and just like read physically in the evenings while I've been listening to Witchlight and also other things. I had some other things I needed to finish up. Listen, it's time. Your girl's been doing the things. It's fine. Yes, a Kate scavenger hunt. I do know where she is because theoretically she's at home and I know her address. So ordered DoorDash groceries and like half my orders were wrong because I forgot to put contact. So I had to reorder. And guess what? 3/4 of the things I previously ordered were in fact in stock. Ugh, sucks. No TBRs. We read whatever we pick up. Era of my life, which is so bizarre, but it seems to be working for the time being. I used to be that way. Like I would just whatever, like kind of have an idea. But I really have been doing well with the TBR lately. We'll see if that holds, but it's working okay. First up, remember Buddy reads book clubs, etc. Put all my books in there as I read them, so no wonder. Yes, exactly that. Like they're there so that when I'm like, okay, I'm almost done with this book. What should I pick up next? I open the spreadsheet and I'm like, okay, these are the things you need to focus on. Or if it's empty, I can just pick whatever I want. And it's been fantastic. Love that for me. I'm living the dream. We're going to do a sprint because it is time. You know what? That is very fair. Not doing YouTube stuff, so not imposing rules on yourself. I am definitely still doing YouTube stuff, obviously, or have restarted doing YouTube stuff, I should say. But so far, I really haven't found it a struggle to make any content. Like in the 2 years previously, when I was on my hiatus, the idea of making content made me nauseous. Like it just made me like I didn't even want to do it. And if the smallest thing went wrong, I was just like, nope, I'm not doing it. And now I'm like actually doing stuff. And doing more in the editing process and having more fun with that. If you watched the Summer Scare Readathon announcement, I had so much fun pulling in clips from, like, the old Readathons into this one, um, and the old announcements into this announcement, and I just had fun, like, editing and doing stuff, but I haven't done it in so long, and so I'm re-enjoying it, and that's great. I'm enjoying things I used to love that I haven't done in a long time. Have I figured out how we're gonna do our stream next week? Not next week, the week after. Next week, we're not having a stream. The week after. Have I figured out how we're gonna do our stream from Streamlabs? No, I have not. Are we gonna figure it out at the time? Possibly. Is there a possibility that we end it and then just go to use the StreamYard free version? Also possible. So, I don't know, we'll see what happens. I am doing the things, people. So, speaking of doing the things, we're gonna do the things. We're gonna do a 45-minute sprint. I do need to make sure that we're on one-time speed. I do believe we are because it's just been resetting itself back at one-time speed. I was watching a video when we got to the 7 o'clock hour, so I'm going to put that on, finish watching that, probably fold laundry for the first sprint, um, and do, like, some general cleanup in my area space, from the weekend, and then that way, when we come back at the second sprint, I'll be able to either, work on journaling or figuring out this plot board mess. Just finish up all the things I need to do for the end of the weekend in this first sprint because I should be able to do that. Shouldn't be a problem. We need to switch over to this guy with our. This is actually the Summer Scare Readathon timer that I made because it's got the house is the logo of the Summer Scare Readathon, and we love him. He's so cute. Boo. Anyway, we're gonna do a sprint. We'll be back in 45 minutes, and you're gonna let me know how you did when we get back. I'm sure. Hello, friendos. We are back. How did everybody do during that sprint? Let me know. How did you do? Ugh. I just gotta write one more thing down before I forget. Okay. I successfully folded all of my laundry, put it away. Watched more of the video that I has been watching. I'm not done yet. I still have only 20-ish minutes left. I was watching Kayla's Summerween vlog when we started earlier, so I have more of that to read. I did also finish my journaling for the day, like filled out in my planner what I had done this weekend, and then went ahead and made a list of things I need to work on tomorrow and filled in next week for all of my plans, which included Miss Katie on Tuesday. You're right here on Tuesday. Madge book signing, 7 p.m. That's why I was talking about the Katie, because I was talking about the fact that you are going to be here-ish, and as per usual, we've discussed nothing. So, but I do have the book signing on Tuesday. I am going to leave work early, but I don't know how early because the boss has a hair appointment that morning. And usually she doesn't get in until noon. And so I don't know yet. But I think it's like 2 hours-ish from here to there. So you should know. You've mapped it out. So that is what we have. Anywho, let's say hello to our friends who joined us because we were, in fact, joined by friends. Mars is also excited for summer scare. Me too. I have all of the excitement. I'm super excited. I need to work on my recommendations for Instagram for the prompts that I can do recommendations for. I have not done that. Decided I'm going to give myself 2 extras for the readathon because I've not doubled up on any prompts. And one of the books I picked out is a collection called Short Stories. So one a day. You know the rules. The rules are there are no rules. If you want to make it shorter, longer, whatever works for you, you do you, boo. As long as we're reading spooky books together, that's all that matters. Same. Hello. Hello, Ro. Welcome in. Hello, Jessica. Welcome in. Mars washed dishes and got a whole 16 pages into Blood Marked. Good for you. Made it to chapter 6 of And the Rest is History. I think I'll switch books. We'd love that for you. Switching books is fun. Edited 1,176 words in this draft, more than I've done in one sitting in at least 6 months. That is fantastic. I love that for you. I'm so excited. Got 217 words in the 25-ish minutes that I was here and spent a bit of time petting the cat who jumped on my desk. You know what? That's fair. Cats be catting. Not perfect, but it's a win book. Lisa probably back. I feel the exact same way. Like, I'm not going as fast as what I expected to go. But I am like holding myself to what I used to do 5 years ago when I was writing consistently. And that's just not, I haven't written anything in so long that expecting myself to write at that pace is crazy. So I moved to the board. Those of you who have joined us late, you didn't get to see this as my project for the day. I'm planning out my plot planning. So I need to, those are not accurate locations, and I need to come up with more plot. But that is for the next sprint. I needed to get things finished. That sprint, things that I've been working on this weekend. So obviously we're gonna hang out. Absolutely. Because the only day I have plans this week is Tuesday. And those plans are with you in Cincinnati. But also, I think that's it. Fine. Read 46 pages, have 137 left. Got this. You got 2 days. I mean, you do have a travel day, but you got this. Great. Love that for us. Bonnie. Bonnie. You should get a big board. I love my big board. Um, as I discussed before we started sprinting, like I actually wrote down everything um the other day when we were working on this at the beginning of the month. I have about ooh, a 2,700 word outline. I call it an outline when technically a lot of it is just world building and lore and things that need to be worked into the story in one way or another. And these these are the only plot points I could get out of that. Like, this is it. This is it. That's all I got. 2,700 words with 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 plot points. That's all I got. So, I need to figure out the rest of the plot. But the point being that when I sat here and I was looking at this 2,700 word block, I was like, surely this is enough for me to start writing the book. And then I went to go and put things into my structure because I sort out my different pieces by structure in Scrivener. And I was like, I don't have anything for like over half of these. So I was like, I need to break it down. And so I broke it down into the like actually just went through and any like read through my 2,700 words, wrote down anything that was an actual plot point, and then put it on the board. And again, it needs some finagling and moving around still, but it definitely tells me like where I need to fill things in at and what I need to do. And had I not done that, I wouldn't have realized how sparse of plot it actually is. It is mostly world building and just ideas of things that I want to happen. Or there's some actual like little pits and pieces of got lost actual verbiage, quotes, things. Anyway, it's fine. Streamed on Twitch earlier and already got 1,179 words. My goal is 2K for the day, so happy with 2. That is fantastic, and you're crushing it. We are back, Lisa. Welcome in. Read and ate dinner. Cannot recommend a big board enough. Truly, it really does. So, as I discussed earlier, I also have just done note cards in the past, and if you have enough space, the note cards definitely works because you can just like when I used to do these, I would either I would like make the bed and do it on the bed, and then just put them in order, and that definitely does work. But the board helps to see everything all at once and just to like obviously mine's not hanging on a wall, it's just here, and I've been moving it around all day. You've seen me manhandling it, so it's fine. Stares at the 15,500 outline I'm currently writing. Listen, I am an underwriter and I can't come up with plot, and this is where I struggle. So I can't write plot to save my life. I can write backstories and world building and floofy things for all of eternity, but coming up with actual plot points that make sense for any of that stuff to come into the story, I fail miserably at. I'm good at writing plot twists. I'm good at surprising you, but I can't actually write a plot. And so, um, actually, the one I talk about the most, like, when I wrote the first draft of my high fantasy 20 years ago, which to be fair, I haven't worked on in over a decade, but it's the story. It was the first story I ever finished, so it's the one that I refer to the most. But when I wrote that 20 some years ago, um, I had an outline and I was like, this is obviously enough for like a whole book, like $100,000, 100,000 word um, book. And when I got to the end of the plot that I had, and it was like a full 3-act structure, but there wasn't enough B plot and other things, and it ended up at like 25,000 words. And I was like, girl, you need help. So, you know, I really struggle with the beginning of the story, with um, figuring out how to make someone interested without immediately putting you into what is typically the turning point into the second act. My brain just like skips the entire first act and is like, let's start at the second act. And then I don't, I have problems, obviously. I've done note cards on the wall thing, but like I can't carry around the wall if I want to go to the other room. Exactly. Love the ability to manhandle a whiteboard in different positions, helps me see better. She also sticks it in her car and drives it across the country. So it is her emotional support whiteboard, and I fully support it. Also, one of my favorite tools. Really helps if you ever decide to plot out the timeline for 4 books happening in the same F1 season, but that may be a niche. I don't know. I mean, that's fair. These are the I actually originally used this. This is the note card for Anku's Curse. Um, way back in the old days. I think this is the first time I ever plotted Yonku's Curse. And this was based off of a lesson that I took from Susan Dennard, um, of how she plots her stories. And she's one of my favorite plotters. I think she hides stuff in her books that you don't feel happening at the moment. And then 6 books later, you're like, what the fuck? Where did that come from? And then you're like, oh, it circles back to this thing that we learned about 5 books ago. She's a fantastic plotter, and I want to be like her when I grow up. Um, and so I do struggle with that because I am a terrible plotter. But I try some of her tricks. Does it help? I don't know. Struggle most with the 50 to 70% mark. It's like I write the big midpoint scene, and I'm like, okay, that's enough. Let's just go to the ending already. Just get where I'm going. He is a well-traveled whiteboard. What is that I'm feeling moment? And then the underwire is escaping. I'm too tired to set up a sewing machine to fix it tonight. You know, there is that. It can be tomorrow's problem. I started this outline with one of the main characters throwing a diamond necklace in the trash, so I'm gonna go about this one. I mean, I really don't have like I joke um when I was okay, let me see. Of this outline, if I highlight, okay, so I said it was like 2,600 words. The first almost 800 words is just world building at the beginning before I even start into what's actually going to happen during the book. And which is fine. I mean, I need world building. I need to know how the world works, but still, it's just like, could you have some plot somewhere in here for your girl? Like anywhere? It's fine. I love writing the beginning hook and laying all the pieces. The middle is like, how do I keep momentum? I'm just saying, I'm struggling. So he's right. It must be really hard. It is a struggle. It is a big struggle, and I am doing the struggle. Um, I'm doing some research on just plot structure in general, and doing plot mapping. And I know how to do. The sad thing is, like, I know how to do all this. Like, I've been doing this research for 20 years, and I just feel like I just don't have the concept grasped at this point, which is wild. 20 years in. Um, which technically I've been writing since I was 13. So we're looking 26 years in. I don't know. That's been a long time. Um, But yeah, just trying to figure things out and what I'm going to do and where I'm going to go from here. And oh, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Thought of the main plot twist of the story earlier today. I love that for you. I unfortunately think that the plot twist for this book is going to be in the epilogue. So I need to come up with something else somewhere else, obviously. I mean, there is like a midpoint plot twist, but like the big plot twist is in the epilogue. But that's kind of the point, is that it's intended to be like a early 2000s urban fantasy story with a romance. Because that's the vibe I'm feeling, and it's the vibe I want to vibe. And so obviously those books series tend to go on forever, which how am I going to do that when I can't plot a thing? What's going to be the plot of the second book? Couldn't tell you. Probably should think of that first. You know what? It's fine. It's fine. It doesn't matter because I'm just doing this for me. Was that the cat? Are you okay? What are you worrying about? Are you gonna throw up on my bed? Okay, go throw up in the middle of my bed. Okay, that's yeah, that's what's happening. Just be happy I muted that for you. Okay, just yeah. Anyway, just a couple of puke pals. I'm gonna have to go wash my bedding now. Um, oh nope, it continues. Okay, hopefully that's the end of all the things. I swear every time we figure out a book, our brain convinces us we've never written one ever before. Like trying to up my outline and plot game by doing it every time. When I try to write an outline, I'm like, how do book plot? Exactly. I do love a late game plot twist. Yeah, it's true. It really does need just it. I just need to figure out how to, and I may talk to you about this week. Who knows? I just need to figure out how to work in the beginning of the story with the, you know what? I need to make the relevant information of world building and backstory into the plot of the beginning of the story so that people have the information without being blah, 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 info dumped. And I haven't figured that out yet. So it's fine. Yeah. Luckily, Bunny threw up on the carpet. I don't have carpet, which is great. But then, you know, yes. Thank you, pets, for throwing up on the floor. We appreciate that. She's been throwing up for days and she just goes through, she's grooming. So it's just terrible. You know, it's fine. Well, don't grill me for dinner because I don't do cannibalism. But that's a whole other thing for a whole other nickel. And we're going to go into a sprint. So I can first start off by stripping my bed and putting it in the washer. And then we'll figure out where we're going to go from there. I will see you guys in 45. How did you do, friendo? How was that sprint for everyone? Did Lisa start her admin stuff, or are we going to have to reach through the screen and hit them? That could be fun. I don't know. Maybe not so much. Got to page 36 and snacking on goldfish. Lost my focus, did planning instead. Also fair. I just watched through some more plotting videos, thought of some more things I might try. The research one must do. Eventually, you just have to do the thing and you can't research anymore, which will be after today. We'll just be doing the things, which I did do some this morning. Then I did the board today, so I did do some things today. I just haven't maybe gone as far as I could have. But you know, it's Sunday, and you know, it's fine. Read 56 pages. I have 81 pages left, so I might finish next sprint, but if not, very shortly after. Excellent. You're gonna crush it. Do you know? Oh well. I was gonna ask if you had picked a book out to listen to on the way here, but you may be just listening to music. I don't know. I don't know you and your life. Finished the night with 526 additional words edited. Excellent. 537 words and 8 corn dogs. Also good things. We had baked potatoes with chili and cheese on them tonight for dinner because I had a bowl of chili in my freezer from last winter. And I was like, you know what? We should eat that. And so we did. Have not yet. I was literally thinking about posting on Instagram stories for audiobook recs. Get out of my brain. But I like it in your brain. Not as much as the first print, but I'm losing steam, especially from all the heat today, and it's more than I've gotten in a while. So it feels like, yeah, absolutely. And I'm 100% with you. I definitely feel like I've gotten more done this month in particular than I have in a really long time. So even if it's not exactly what we're used to, it's more than we've been getting, and we should be happy for that. I did the thing I said I was going to do, but I did put away groceries, finish dinner, and that was good. But I did not do the admin. Smack, 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 smack. I can stay. Audiobook recs for a 5-hour long trip. Ooh. Well. I don't know. I don't have anything today because I don't have a brain. But I'm sure I've recommended you books before. Something, I'm sure. I don't know what I'm supposed to be insinuating with my eyeballs, but it felt like the right thing to do. So just went for it. Let's see. What is the final timer we use today going to be? Pum, 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 pum. Yeah, we haven't done this one for a while. I haven't even started editing my Summerween vlog. And I'm supposed to post it on Tuesday. So we'll see what happens. The Spooky Eyeballs. God, that book is so good, dude. It's so good. I think she has a new book coming out later this year. And I am high key interested. Cause like, you know, cannot recommend any audiobook other than Andy Serkis doing Hobbit, Lord of the Rings ever, since listening to the other audiobooks just don't compare. I mean, that's fair. Have to do the admin this time. Listen, I can't make you do it, Lisa, okay? If I could make people do things, I'd make me do things. I had to film for like 5 days in a row, so I made it my summer reading vlog. This is just me and my closest 8 friends here, right? Okay. I definitely didn't read for 2 days. And then added on 2 days of things at the end. So, um, I added in like I shouldn't have because I was finished with the books that I had for listen, it's gonna be a mess. But I read a book that I had a lot of thoughts about. And so I feel like I need to post that because of the thoughts for the book. Because I read a an arc that I had, um, and I talked about it a lot. So so I'm like just finagling and making up the end of the vlog. The end of the vlog was me working through some of Tiny Shivers. So which I did not finish in the 2 days I gave myself to read some physically, to pretend, but it's fine. Sometimes you just gotta fake it until you make it, and you and your 10 closest friends know that there are at some points in the vlog where I'm saying, "It's Thursday," but it's actually Saturday. But it's fine. Is what it is. She lives near Pittsburgh. I am also DED dead. Listen, and I will never forget anytime I see a DED dead, I will never forget that in the filing cabinet in my childhood home, when my mom and dad got divorced and we were moving out, mom found a folder of my paperwork from kindergarten and we had to write a book. And the last page of my book was a dead person is a dead person. DED dead. And person was like PERSIN. But I mean, come on, I was 6, y'all. A dead person is a dead person. Like, what was going on in my life? I don't know. I just want to like casually go back in time and be a fly on the wall and like see myself just like writing that out in my kindergarten notebook. Like, a dead person is a dead person. Kindergarten me was wild. Maybe we'll have to keep our eyes open. Time is bacon. There are no consequences. Yeah, I mean, it's fine. We love secrets. Yeah, I don't know what was going on with me, but baby Jess was like on it. I must have watched Robin Hood Men in Tights as a kid because, you know, I want him dead. DED dead. So, yeah. Yeah, exactly. It looks exactly like that. A dead person is a dead person. Wild. Elementary school work from me and my sister, which among was a poem I wrote in kindergarten that is true to my band about an owl. I mean, you wrote a poem about an owl. We love that for you. I assume that's supposed to say true to your brand. Unless you're in a band that I don't know about. Are you in a band that I don't know about? I'd like to know. Should be brand, not band. I read band, and then I was like, no, you're brand. Because you're not in a band that I don't know. You wouldn't be in a band and not tell me. We're not that kind of friends, are we? Where you don't tell me cool things like you're in a band. I would not be okay with that. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. When I was a kid, I made a book about Neptune, and to communicate that it was cold, I drew a person shivering and yelling "brr" because it is cold. But wrote beer. And so it was a guy on Neptune wanting a cold one on the coldest planet. I love that actually. That's hilarious. don't understand for the longest time why my parents found it so funny. Well, you had to understand what beer was first. Mars secret band project unlocked. I wish I was cool enough to be in a band. You and me both. Negative musical talent. I mean, I have this is what I say. Like, we actually talked about musical instruments this morning on sprints too. Um, I can play musical instruments, but none of the cool ones. Like, I can play clarinet and bass clarinet and tenor sax, and I used to be able to play a little bit of baritone. I probably can't now. I probably don't have lips for it anymore. Um, but I would play like bells and chimes and oh my god, what was that big? No, the chimes was the big thing that I played. The thing, yeah, and then xylophone, bells, chimes, bass clarinet, regular clarinet, tenor sax. Like nothing that's fun. I feel like you can't have a band with that. So like, I mean, you can have a ska band for sure, but nothing else cool. Yeah, beer. Wrote and about the author page at the end of his story in grade 2. That is so cute. I'll likely find it when we move. So when I'll take a photo. So when I'll take a photo at some point. I know what you were trying to say there. Yep. Current musical abilities include playing Yankee Doodle on a piano and a B flat scale on a flute. Listen, that's more than some people got. I can't make a flute make sound. That is one thing I could never do. I could never make a flute make a noise. Like I just can't. It just doesn't work. Couldn't do it. Absolutely nothing else. A bunch of his books about I love that. Community ska band, because that's what I'm hearing. I mean, absolutely. Like many typos on the mold. I'm assuming that your mold is way worse than mine was. Like mine literally is just some mold in the drywall from just being wet from the kids' showers in there. But I've sprayed it with fungicide twice, and then tomorrow I'm going to mop the walls. I've got some mold cleaner. I'm gonna mop the walls tomorrow. So, and then once the walls have been mopped, then it's gonna get painted with a mold resistant bathroom wetness, whatever protection paint. And then I gotta pick out a color. And the new cabinet that I bought is like a navy blue. And I think I'm going to paint the room like a dusty, mauvey, purpley red color. So that's all gonna happen in the next couple of weeks. I did have on the troublemaker in our goals for this month to film my time swapping video this month, and I don't know that I'm going to get to it because I think I'm going to be doing the bathroom stuff. Don't know that I have the time to really do both. Um, so the video may have to get pushed back due to life practicality reasons. So we'll see what happens. Musical talent is I played piano for a long time but never practiced, so basically best. There we go. It really took 5 years of flute lessons and all I took away from it was a B flat scale. That's rough, girl. That's rough. That was a joke. I did not retain much for those like 8 years. You know, I probably from memory could play a few things, but because like I was in band for 8 years in school and I started high school band a couple of years early. I was like in 7th grade doing high school band because our band in school was so small that he would like recruit middle school kids in. And so like every year I was like constantly playing the same songs for like pep band and stuff. So some of those I could probably pay for like still. You know, it's been 20 years. Oh, you're allergic to penicillin. Yeah. Okay, you're luckily all the mold gave me was typos and not rampant transphobia. So yay. I mean that you're not wrong. Is that a thing? Does mold give you rampant transphobia? Was I unaware? Came back to blaming typos on the mold, and I thought it was she who must not be a name joke. I mean, that's fair. That's what makes Katie's sentence make sense. Anywho, I was like, I don't understand this comment. It's because you didn't read them in order. You big dummy head. Ay vey. Yep, exactly. Had an allergy test done and came back positive for 32 of 38 of the things. Oh my gosh. Ugh. I remember um one of my nephews when he was like 12 or 13, they did an allergy test on his back of like different pollens and things. And I just remember his back just being like a bunch of squares of rashes because he was allergic to all of it. And it was just like, just like his whole back. I was like, oh God, child, no, anything but that. Anything but that. Yeah, I mean, possibly. Probably more the fungicide that I was in their bathrooms, right? You've seen how small my bathroom is. Um, yeah, probably just the fungicide. The fun guy side. Here's a photo where it looks like there's black mold on her walls, which makes people hallucinate. So everyone says she's black mold crazy. I mean, whatever it takes, I guess. Anywho, we're gonna get into our last sprint for the night. We're gonna do a 30 because it's 9:30. And I try to end around 10. So we'll do a 30. We'll check in, see how everybody did, and then we will be done for the evening. Okay, okay. And I'll see you guys in 30 minutes. All right, besties, that was the end of the final jam. Well, let me know how you did in our final sprint of the evening. Lisa, did you do your admin or do I have to come through the screen? Also, hello, Christina. That was the final sprint, but I hope you were able to read some of your book. Anyway, Lisa did start admin stuff. Excellent. Booktube sprint for Tennille. Time to get ready for bed. I'm with you. It's the shorter sprint because, you know, it's fine. It's fine. You're welcome. We will be here not next Sunday because next Sunday I have prior engagement, but the following Sunday we'll be here at 7. I'm going to try to continue doing these most Sundays at 7, but we'll see what happens. 44 pages, only 37 pages left. Yeah, excited to be done, but also sad to be done. Once again, computer by YouTube's reminder notification system. Well, listen. I mean, you can set an alarm on your phone and be like, it's 7 on a Sunday. Jess is going to spread. Or just remind me to remind you and I'll remind you. Remind me to remind you to remind yourself. There you go. Started that sprint only needing 72 words to hit 2K and instead got 690 words for a total of 2,623. Crushed it. You're very welcome. Right. R.I.P. Great. If you were a true fan, you'd have Jess's scream schedule memorized. I mean, y'all can't even remember my birthday. How are you supposed to remember when I stream? I'm just saying. I'm gonna let it go eventually, but I'm gonna continue to not let it go for now because it's funny. Y'all forgot Christmas. Just saying. I do have a scream schedule. Every once in a while, I just look at the clock and go, "Oh no, it's noon!" Into a pillow. I recommend. Just here for the content, obviously. Yelling into the void for sure, for sure, for sure. Just scream. Ah! There are. I haven't done it in a long time because it was mostly when I worked in the restaurant. But there would be times where I would just go in the freezer and scream. Just close the door, let out a scream, get back to work. You gotta just gotta do sometimes. Listen, I still love you, Devasia. You're still my favorite Devasia. Scheduling in some scream time would probably be helpful for the anxiety. You're not wrong. Um, my boss slash aunt has this doll called the Damn It doll, and it's like yay big, and it's made of fabric. And when you are angry, you beat it on the counter and yell, "Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! Damn it!" And sometimes there are days where I'll just say, "Hey, can you toss me that doll in the drawer?" Specifically after getting off the phone with really annoying customers. It works. It's great. Highly recommend. Just saying. Anywho, who would have absolved me, but I think I also forgot my father's birthday. I mean, that's fair. That's rough. That's rough. I mean, you do actually like your dad, so you should remember his birthday. But you know, none of us are perfect. In the before times, I used to play racquetball after work. Sometimes it feels good to hit something. You know what? You're not wrong. I also forgot Wallace's birthday, so you're not special. Oh, you know what? I love that. That makes me so happy. Um, I love not being special. Not getting into a car accident like on her birthday or around a pill. I mean, there is that too. Also fair. It's fine. Again, I'm only gonna teach you guys about it for a little bit longer, and then I'm gonna let it go. And then 5 years from now, I'm gonna bring it back up because that's how I operate. Just saying. This is where I remind you, if you haven't watched this week's video yet, it is the announcement video for the Summer Scare Readathon. You should go watch it. It's pretty funny. I did a lot of editing to make it ha 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 ha. And this week's upcoming video theoretically will be a Summerween video reading vlog of me reading things. So, just saying. Ghost, dark, shadow. This is me for the last 7 years trying to think of things that are scary. Yeah, exactly. Summer scare, do 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 do. It's almost here. It's less than a month away. So, I'm just saying, all the fun. Anywho, I'm gonna find the button to say goodbye. I'm ready to say goodbye, and I will see you guys not next week, but the following week. Bye. Maybe.